Hi folks, my name is Sam Pagliari. I'm from the Station Coffee Company in Florence, Arizona, and I'm doing a little video on a espresso machine that I purchased a few months back from a nice gentleman in New York. Um, I actually bought two uh, Brasilia Gradisca two-group espresso machines, and these espresso machines were in pretty bad shape. So what the gentleman did was he actually found two identical machines and never got a chance to do anything with them. But the purpose there was to use one machine for parts and then completely refurbish the other machine. So what I did was I bought the two machines off of him, and I also bought a Grindmaster grinder that actually came with one of the machines. These machines come with the grinders, and they had a whole set of things that would they set a sort of complete set so that people could open a coffee shop. So I had two. We have two Brasilia Gradisca two group espresso machines. I'm going to show you a little bit about what one of them looks like. The one that we actually did, I didn't film before I did it, but you can see the kind of condition. They were both in about the same condition. Actually, the one I refurbished was a little bit worse than the one that you're going to see in the video. But anyway, so what we did was we just refurbished the whole thing, descaled them, new parts, and got them into very nice work. I got one of them into very nice working condition, and also refurbished the grinder with a new switch and new burrs. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy it. We're going to use this machine as our backup machine in our coffee shop. I think it will work out just to do a beautiful job backing up another two group that we have. We have a Stella Decafe, unique Stella Decafe two group. It's a little bit more whistles and bells with it. This is more of a, sort of a 20-year-old manual machine, and it really, for being 20 years old, it does a fantastic job, right? So I'm in the garage, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what the old machine looked like. This is actually the second machine that I bought, but it's probably in a little better shape than the one that we took apart and redid was in. And you can see right here, like down in there on the sight tube, you can see how the scale and stuff was on there. You can see how bad the bottom was. The bottom of the other one was really bad. The cleaning we had to do was a lot more than this. We took this all apart, took some of the parts out of it. You can see the motor, the pump is beat. We tested this and it didn't work at all. Here's the fill valve was pretty much beat. It would have had to be all cleaned out. The solenoid didn't work. There are a lot of compartments here, pieces here that didn't work, and you can just see how bad the other one was. I just wanted to sort of show you this to give you an idea. I don't know, you can't see inside of this, but there's all kinds of scale in there. You can sort of see a little bit of it, but it was really bad. So anyway, that's just sort of an idea what the other one looked like. Now we'll get to really the best part of it, and that's what happened after we were done. Okay, so here we are at the machine after we got it all cleaned up. You can see that it's in pretty good shape for a 20-year-old machine. Once again, it's a Brasilia Gradisca. It is a 220 volt machine, so yeah, you need a 220 plug to plug it in with. You can see the two heads are, the group heads were totally redone. There were two cup espresso machines, or double espresso shots. There's a single espresso shot handle with it as well. All of the heads were totally new gaskets in the group heads, new jets, new pretty much everything in these things. The two little solenoids here are the original solenoids, but they work just fine. You can see the steam wands are in very nice shape. The water machine, or the water jet, is in nice shape. The other steam wand just has a turnable knob to have the steam and water come on. And also the panels, as you can see, are in nice shape. As far as the single double, it's a very simple machine to work, not difficult at all. I'll get down here to the drip panel. The drip panel is really nice. It's easy to remove. All you have to do is lift it up and pull it off. And once you remove it, you can see underneath how new everything was. Really sort of totally cleaned, descaled in a citric acid solution. This is the fill solenoid, the brand new fill solenoid. The fill valve is all cleaned. Here's the power supply, and the drain is right here. You can see a little bit of water in the drain as we turned it on. It's very easy to turn on. There's a two-step switch down here. It's an off, on, and then once the tank is filled, this will turn on the heater to heat the tank. So what we have to do is, if we go over here to the little sight scale, you can see how exactly high the water is in here. It's sort of lit up. You can see the wider red line that goes up to here, and pretty much when you turn it on, there's a green light here that will actually light up until the tank is filled to the proper level. You need to fill the tank to the proper level, because if you don't have it filled up, it'll burn out the heating element in the tank. So this has a really nice system where you turn it on to the first step, it'll start filling the tank, the pump will come on, fill the tank. In this case, it probably won't take very long because it's already filled. The other nice issue on here is the gauges. It's a double gauge. This is actually a new gauge. The left side over here is the pump pressure, or the pressure that goes to the head. That tells you the pressure you're actually brewing espresso with. And this is the steam gauge. This tells you what how intense your steam is. You can see a little green area there that you want your dial to get into once the boiler heats up. Now what happens is when the boiler heats up, the higher the pressure, the higher the temperature of the steam. So you want to be able to control the brewing temperature of the steam as well. So let's get down here. We can turn this on. We'll do just the first step. This is always what you should do, is always turn it to the first knob to the right first, and you'll hear the pump go on and the light come on. Here's the light on. The pump is not filling the tank to the proper level. Once it gets filled to the proper level, and it did, it turns off. And you can see when the pump was on, it would go up closer to this. There's a 9-bar level. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get around here to show you the gauge where there's a little blue area there that says 9 in the middle of it. That's where you want the pressure to be. 9 bars is exactly the right pressure to brew espresso with. So you want that at 9 bar when the pump comes on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn on the heating unit. And once I turn this knob over, one more, you'll see the light comes on there. And what will happen now is the heating unit is on. We're going to put the drip tray back on, because we'll probably get a little bit of dripping out of it. There we go. It's back on and in place, as you can see. And now what we're going to do is we're going to let it heat up, and I'll show you the amount of steam and things you get out of it. Then later on, we're actually going to put the sides and top on this, and we'll brew some coffee. But right now, I have the sides off, so you can actually see the how nice this actually came out. We're going to go around to the tank and to some of the fixtures, and you can see, as compared to the other one, this is all totally redone. All of the copper tubing was descaled and cleaned. You can see these over here are the actual steam valves. That's the water valve, and another steam valve over there. These are the two panels for the buttons, the controller buttons. If we go down here, we can see right here we have the 2 lights on the flow meters, which tell us the power is on to them. Flow meters are what controls the amount of water that actually goes into the heads that you brew coffee with. I have the protective covering off of the heating element. This heating element is still the older heating element. It was cleaned. We had to, I don't know if you can really see this or not, but it was the old one was totally corroded on. We had to get a new, let me see if I can get a pointer here. We had to get a new stud put in right here. So it's a little bit bigger stud than the other two are, and we have totally new connecting hardware for that, and a new gasket. You can see the white gasket around the back of the heating element. This is a brand new thermostat right here. The 2 flow meters are brand new as well. So we did a lot of work on descaling this, the whole tank, which is the big tank there. There's 1 tank on this system. It's called a heat exchange tank. I'll do another video sometime so we can explain what a heat exchanger does and exactly how these systems work. But you can see how we have, we totally cleaned all of the, the fixtures. This is getting hot now. So all the fixtures have been cleaned. Connecting fixtures, the brass fixtures, the copper's been cleaned. We cleaned the bottom of this, so you can see it's really nice in the bottom, all cleaned up. The black powder coating is still on most of this. Over here is this right here is called a pressure stat. That's what controls the pressure in on the gauge. We can turn that up or down to make sure that the temperature of the brewing is correct. Over here we have this is our little overflow valve, and also a pressure valve on the top. So this thing pops up if there's too much pressure. It's a protective device that's on this thing. You can hear the steam heating up a little bit here. We'll go work our way around, and now you can see the motor. The motor is the original motor. It worked well, so there was no reason to replace it. That's probably one of the more expensive things to replace on these units. You can see the back of the gauge, the brand new gauge back in there. And this is the sight level, the back of the sight level. And you can see, as compared to the old one was all corroded down here. All the corrosion was cleaned up, and all the brass fittings are very nice. We go around here as we work our way around. This is a brand new pump. We put a brand new pump in as well. So the pump is brand new. We have 2 new flow meters in here, a new solenoid underneath here. A lot of new items as compared, and we also took off, if some of the fixtures were bad, we took the fixtures off of the old machine and cleaned them up. Just got sort of the best components of each and put it on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let this heat up a little bit. We'll go around here. What I usually do when I let these heat up, I usually open the steam valve, one of the steam valves up, just like that. Now what will happen is as it heats up, steam will start coming out of that steam wand. The reason I do that is because you get a lot of condensation that forms inside of the tanks. If the tank was cold, opening the steam valve will help that condensation clear out of there, and you won't get any pockets of air. You want that filled with steam. We'll, like I said, in another video, get into heat exchangers and exactly what they do and what the physical components and how they work. But right now, here's this unit. We're going to wait till it heats up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we now have the machine up to temperature. You can see right here where the dial is right in that green area. Let's see if I get a little closer. Where the 1 is sort of the upper part of the green area, which is where we sort of want it. I adjusted it so it's a little bit hotter. The higher the pressure, the more heat you have coming through the brew heads here. These are also very hot because as the water goes through there, it'll heat them up. What I like to do is continuously put more water through them so that they'll heat up. Now we're using a lot in a commercial setting, then you're constantly having water go through them anyway. They'll be hot all the time, and we always want the portafilters in there constantly to keep the portafilters warm too, because you just don't want the portafilters to cool off. Put coffee in there, and as soon as the water hits it, it cools the water, and you don't get the brewing temperature. So now let's take a look at this. Here we go with the steam. We'll give you a little idea. You can see you get a lot of steam out of this thing. Really does a nice job with steaming milk, and we'll do that a little later. Here's the water. Once again, nice hot water coming out of there. You just heard the pump go on to raise the tank level. And here's our other steam on. A lot of steam. And now we can take a look at the group heads. And you can see, we just press one of the timers. You can see the water coming out of the group heads here. It'll shut off in a little bit here. We have a time to do so much. But it does a really nice job. And let's go over to the other one. And you can see the water coming out of this one. The water is up to temperature. It does a very nice job into our drip pan. And we'll put the sides and back on this again, and we'll take a look at how it actually brews coffee and makes a latte. Okay, so this is the machine that's all put together. The sides are on it. The top cup warmer is on it. Let me show you that. It's in very nice condition. There's some bruises and a few scuffs along the side of it here, even very hard to see them, but down at the bottom there a little bit, just from moving around over the years. The back of it is very nice. It's almost in perfect condition. Once again, a little better view of the cup holder, the cup warmer on the top. Very nice condition. Really nice, good looking machine with the baked black enamel with a stainless steel. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go grind some coffee beans, and let's see how we do with making some espresso. Okay, so this is the grinder we got with the purchase of the two used beat-up espresso machines, and this grinder was in pretty good shape, or pretty bad shape when we got it as well. It needed cleaned up. We cleaned it all up. Really did got a lot of like baked-in coffee and oil out of it. But it came out really nicely. As you can see, the bean hopper here looks to be about a 3-pound bean hopper. Very nice commercial size. It is a grind master, as you can see there. But anyway, it came out very nicely. This is probably not going to get used very much as a sort of a built-in tamper. We did put a new switch on over here. These switches are probably one of the things that goes wrong in these machines, so we decided just to put a new one on, and we should get pretty good use out of that. We also put new burrs in. One of the downsides of this machine is that you do the adjusting of the grind size by this little ring right here, and the ring only has about 42 settings on it. Optimally, you want a little bit more than that. You want to go towards maybe a 70 to 100 setting range. It'll help you dial in the coffee a little bit better. But this does a good enough job. You can see the inside of the holder, the coffee holder. We'll turn it on a little bit. You can see it does a nice job of grinding the beans down and getting it in there. It does a really good job of grinding. With the new burrs, that sort of helps out. You can see it has a dosing handle right here that will help the coffee dosing on the portafilter. The portafilters are 18 gram portafilters. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure out 18 grams with this grinder, and we'll make some coffee. Okay, so we're ready to brew a couple of double shots of espresso. As you can see, I've got the portafilters that are all filled up with 18 grams apiece. Unfortunately, it's a little tough because I'm using this tamper. If you see the tamper, it's just sort of a cheapo little thing. This actually was what Brasilia sent with their machines. And you can see how far we've come in the last 20 years. I mean, we would never use something like this. It actually isn't even big enough to go all the way across the diameter of the portafilter. So I just had to sort of tamp it down and do the best I could. So we'll see what comes out of this thing. Hopefully we'll get a good shot. I had it dialed in pretty good. Let's put it up there. Let's just pull an espresso shot first, so you can see exactly what this thing will do. We have these all programmed for the same amount. I'm just going to hit the one button there, and you can see down here it will infuse and then start brewing the espresso. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's coming out pretty good. Let's see what kind of a shot we get. You can see you're getting some good crema in there. It's actually doing a very nice job. There we go. And that's about the right amount of time. We try to brew this at 2 ounces for a double shot. You can see we really got a good crema in there. I'm going to taste it real fast. That's just about a perfect shot. Really good taste to it. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this off first. I have a little drop box over here that we're going to do the knock box thing. I'll put it on here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to hit the continuous flow, and we'll clean this out a little bit. always a good idea. This will clean both the screen on the group head as well as cleaning the portafilter out. Now we'll stop it. And then we'll just put this back up in here for storage so that it remains hot. You can see the steam coming out a little bit there. Now let's get the other shot, and we'll see how we do on the other group head. Hopefully we'll get about the same results. We're going to put a cup under there. Once again, we're going to hit the same button, which should be programmed the same way. We'll come back here and we'll watch it brew. There we go. About the same time for the pre-infusion. Let's see what kind of crema we're going to get here. And this looks like it's getting a good crema also. Very nice. And there we go. Another really good cup of espresso. We'll put these side by side. And you can see we got a pretty good consistency there. You can actually see this espresso shot is starting to break up a little bit. But anyway, they're looking really good. The espresso shots seem to brew pretty good. Once again, we're going to take this out, go over to our knock box, whack it in the knock box, take it over here and hit our our continuous flow button. And we're going to clean this out. There we go. Hit the stop button. And we'll put this back up in there. Ready to go again. So now what we're going to do is we'll steam a little bit of milk, froth a little bit of milk, and we'll make a little bit of a latte out of one of these shots that we poured. Okay, now we're going to steam a little bit of milk. We're going to add a little bit of salted caramel to it. And we'll froth this milk. Actually, we're going to put it into the, put a little wee bit into the shot, the double shot that we drew a little bit earlier. Now, let's see how our steam wants work. We have a lot of steam. We're going to purge it first. You can see how much steam actually comes out of there. This is a small frothing pitcher, so it's not going to take very long to get this thing done. We just put it right in there a little wee bit. Turn it on. It doesn't take long. You get a little bit of froth in there. And there we go. That's about it. Now let's get ourselves a little rag to wipe this off with. And we'll purge it again. Get the milk out of it. There we go. Now if we look at our milk, we have a very nice, looks like paint on the side of the pitcher. It's a really nice, very nice froth milk. Now let's pour some in our little shot here. Sort of at an angle, we'll come up. And we'll come down to get a little bit of a tulip type thing. There we go. Now the important thing, I'll taste it. Very good. So as you can see, everything functions perfectly. Here's our water and our other steam. Thank you for watching.